Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Darkpool Algo, and thanks for joining me on I don't even know what to call this video, but basically we're going to title it, So You Want to Trade Futures, but Don't Want to Lose Your Ass. That's what we're going to call it. There's been a lot of interest in the groups for me to do an introduction to futures video, how to get started, which broker to use, and how to be introduced to futures or micro futures actually in a way that's not going to break the bank or cost you, well, I can't say that, in the least expensive way possible as far as margins are concerned and minimum balances. Now, the way futures, if you're not familiar with what futures are, that's an entirely different video. So essentially futures trading is active 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. I think it's 24, 23, 23, 4. So you can trade futures all the time. Another benefit of futures trading is that there is no PDT rule. So if you're if you're new to the stock market and you want to learn how to trade, especially if you want to learn how to trade off of price action, I would highly recommend trading micro futures. Simply because, one, there's no pattern day trader rule. You're not required to have a $25,000 account. And if you do it correctly, you can learn how to trade price action because they're super liquid, right? And you can also learn, test different strategies, where to get in, where to get out, where to set your stop losses, how to analyze the chart, how to look for different levels, looking for support and resistance, all of the different techniques, okay? I'm going to get into that, but before I do that, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, go ahead and turn on notifications so that you can be notified anytime I put out a new video. This is the introduction to futures. I'm going to show you the broker. I want to show you the reason why I choose this broker, and we'll do that right after this quick intro. All right, welcome back. I gotta work on that intro. I'm not super happy with it. Okay, so futures trading. A couple things to note in futures trading is, one, margin size. You have to have a margin account to trade futures, just because of the value of the future, right? For example, this is the ES micro future. Each one, it's currently valued at what, $4,500. Wow, that would be like, let me buy one of those at 4,500. It doesn't really work that way. So having a margin account protects you. It also protects your broker. The next thing, number two, actually, this is number one rule. Number one rule with trading futures: always have a stop loss. Do not take a futures trade without a stop loss. Repeat it. Do not take a futures trade without a stop loss. Do not take a futures trade without a stop loss. What? Do not trade futures without stop losses. Why? Because they're volatile, right? It could be up 1 second and then literally within a minute be down 100 points and you'd be out. So what's the number one rule again? Never trade futures without a stop loss, okay? Number two, margin is important. If you were to use a traditional broker like Thinkorswim, for example, right? You would have to have a margin account with at least $2,000 in it, and then you would be able to trade, I think, one micro contract. I think they require a $500 margin per trade. So each contract is $500 margin. Okay. I did that for a little while, and I was doing all right with it. And then I noticed that I was losing money, even though I was making winning trades. And I went and looked, and I realized that the commission structure for Thinkorswim is it costs you $5 per trade, right? Let me walk you through this, okay? So just get rid of this, and we'll get some notes going, okay? It's always important to take notes. All right, you guys don't need any of that information there. All right, it's proprietary. Just kidding. I was doing some work earlier. All right, so basically you need to, number one, stop loss, right? Number two, margin requirements. Number three, I can't believe I misspelled that. on, dang it, on recording. All right, number 3 would be commission structure, right? And then number 4 would be trading plan, right? So what you want to look for when you're going to look to trade futures is you want to make sure that you can, one, get into something that you can afford with the margin, right? So margin requirements could be, you know, at Thinkorswim, it's 2,000, right? And that's to trade ES. If you wanted to trade the NQ, I believe you would probably need about 5,000 just to be comfortable. I don't want to invest that. You know, I don't want to tie up that much capital while I'm learning to trade something. And then the other thing was commission. So you're charged on each, they call it each direction. So when you purchase a futures contract, you get charged a commission. And then when you sell it back, you get charged a commission. Thinkorswim's commissions for micro ES, which is the smallest liquid future that I would recommend. I'd really only recommend trading ES and NQ while you're getting to learn it. So the commission structure for Thinkorswim is $2.50 each way. And that's toss. Okay, so you basically have to, your trade has to at least make $5 or you're going to lose money. I spent $1,000 in commissions in 2 weeks. Yeah. Learning a strategy, learning to trade price action, no PDT rule. I was able to, you know, basically buy a contract, sell a contract, buy a contract, sell a contract. But each time I did that, I didn't realize it was $5 out the door, $5 out the door, 5, 5, 5. I got 5 on it, right? You know, this is not a Bone Thugs Harmony song. It's my money. So I was frustrated. I still wanted to learn how to trade price action. Right. I was in the Bullish Bears room listening to Rose, who's, you know, teaching me how price action works. I don't need any indicators. I don't need any of this BS. I just need a candlestick chart, right? I can tell where the stock's going to go based on patterns. So I was learning all of this great information. I was throwing money away on futures contracts because I would buy one, sell one, buy one, sell one, you know, just to practice muscle memory, learning what to do the correct way. Very frustrated. I had a need. I needed something. I needed to learn this to progress as a trader so that I could understand, you know, what I was doing. So out of that, I came across a company called AMP Futures. AMP Futures. Oh, I know this website looks super sketch, but it's not. Trust me, I've been with them for about 2 years. Any problems I've had, they've taken care of it. They've got 24-hour customer support, and they give you a lot of free tools. Now you're going to look at this and be like, Net12, MetaTrader, you know, Quantower, what the hell is this stuff? I want to trade, you know, in TradingView or something that I'm used to. I don't want to have to go download a whole bunch of crap. And yeah, so this is, you know, this is mainly like these Net12 and MetaTrader. These are for, you know, Sierra Chart. These are people who just strictly trade futures. That's all they do. And they can use this type of, you know, these type of toolings. I'm an options and stock trader, so I didn't really want to have to necessarily move away from TOS at the time. And then I read right here that they integrate with TradingView for free. Ooh, you mean I can trade a futures contract on TradingView? No way. I didn't believe it. And then I was like, okay, so that looks pretty decent. That's, you know, that's a benefit there out of my, you know, what am I looking for, right? I guess I should have put this down here. Whoopsie. Right. So, I was like, wow, I can trade out of TradingView now. That's pretty awesome. I like TradingView. I think that, you know, you get a lot of good data. It's super responsive. It's super quick, right? Here we go. Look at this. Yeah, it would be cool if I could just place an order right there. Well, with AMP Futures, you can. I'm connected to my broker, yo. I'm connected. Did I just not have the right one up? Anyway, we'll get back to that in a minute. So TradingView, I was like, sweet. So I can get a TradingView. All right, this is interesting, and it's no monthly platform fees and no extra per contract fees. Sweet. All right. Well, what are my margin requirements? Okay. Well, these are the margin requirements. Oh, are you serious? Oh man, hold on, pause. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I was like, what are the margin requirements? Okay. So if I wanted to trade the micro, you know, E-mini S&P 500, right? I would need $1,100 maintenance. Oh, that's if I wanted to hold it overnight, which I didn't want to do. I wanted to day trade. I wanted to come in at the beginning of the market and trade futures throughout the day so that I can learn price action. Well, look at this. It's only $40 margin to trade one contract of the micro ES, which is what we were trading, right? So rather than a $2,000 margin requirement, I have a $40 per contract margin requirement. That's pretty dang awesome, right? So stop loss. Okay, you gotta have that. So $40 contract per um, margin requirement per contract, right? Sweet. Well, what about if I wanted to trade the NQ, the micro E-mini NASDAQ? $100 margin. Well, let's see. So if I took $500 and put it into an AMP futures account, right? I could trade micro E-mini, which is what I was trading in Thinkorswim, but for only $40, I could buy multiple contracts. Oh, okay, that's pretty slick, right? And then the same for the NASDAQ E-mini, right? You can trade all of these different ones. I typically focus on the NASDAQ and the S&P. All right, what else do we got here? $100 account minimum. What's this 300 ES day trade margins? Some of this is starting to get a little bit confusing. $25 micro account minimum. All right, so $40 micro S&P margins. Yeah, this is what I want right here. I want this, I want a small minimum, and I want, micro margins. Okay, so what else do they have? Free platforms, free ACHs in and out, 24-hour support, and their support's amazing, by the way. Free education, yeah, there's lots of education everywhere. No inactivity fees, no volume requirements, no licensing, this, that, and the other. This looks pretty decent. All right, so what's it going to cost me to take a trade? Well, depending upon how you set it up, you could do the 300 ES day trade margins, and your round trip total is about $1.50, right? I still thought that was pretty expensive. They've got another one where you purchase a data plan, so you commit to $30 a month for the data plan, but then the commission structure is 89 cents round trip, right? It's 45 cents one way, 45 cents back. All right, so I'm like, so with $500, I could trade multiple contracts, right? While I'm learning to trade price action, I could trade it at TradingView, right? Oh, you know what? 1 second. Let me get logged in on this. It kicked me out because I've got another platform up over here. Let me get logged in and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so it's real quick. I apologize for the little delay here. So these are all of the futures that they do offer through their exchange. If you wanted to, continue to grow your account, let's say you wanted to trade, the mid cap, with your $3,300 day trade margin. So, it can grow with you. That's what I'm trying to say, right? This can grow as you grow as your futures trader. Okay. All right. So we've got cheap margins, right? We've got affordable commissions. We've got integration with TradingView, which is a platform I use for charting and for charting out stocks and not options, but for charting and for learning new strategies, support, resistance, Kettler channels, those kind of things. Okay, so as soon as this loads up, I'm gonna wrap this video up really quickly. And I want to wrap it up with a trade so I can just show you proof of concept, right? Because it's one thing to be running my mouth out here saying, "Oh, go do this. It's really cool." Seriously, and it's another for me to actually show you proof of concept, right? Thank you. I don't want to do that. Don't kick me out. All right, there we go. So that'll load up. All right, to get started with this, I don't have a referral code or anything fancy like that. I wish I did, but head over to AMP Futures. Go ahead, open up an account. If you have any questions, their chat is amazing, right? You can deposit a couple $100s in it once it's, you know, once you go through the registration process, right? And, you know, you can hit this AMP's exact cost calculator. This is your set, this is your setup, right? And I don't want to sign up for another account, but go through the setup process, right? Once we have enough people set up, we'll start learning how to do some trading with futures. One thing that I'm going to insist upon right now is if we're going to do this, then you have to promise me that you guys will always use a stop loss. I'm going to take a real quick trade. All right. Even if I lose money, I just want you to see that this is how you do it. Okay. So this is TradingView. What I want to do is I want to buy it. I want to make sure I hit take profit, stop loss. I always set my stop. I have a 1 to 3 risk reward, right? I have my stop loss. I have my take profit. I'm going to buy the sucker now, right? Did I get filled on it? Not yet. All right. This is a little wonkadoodle here. All right. So I bought my order. I've got my stop loss set, right? If I want to move my stop loss, I can just simply move it like this, right? It'll require that I modify it. I'm probably going to lose on this trade just because of the way futures are moving right now. If it didn't rip off of that break up, I'm going to allow for this back test to happen right here at 45.07. If that level fails, I'm going to move my stop loss up and get out of it. You can see that I've lost $1.50 on this trade so far. And, oh, wait. All right, and I've got my take profit way up here. I don't think we're going to get that kind of a rip, so I'm probably going to end up losing a couple dollars on this trade. But what I wanted to show you was how easy it was to integrate with TradingView. If you wanted to test out a strategy like, oh, I should get in right here, you can set your, you can set up your bracket order, and where you buy order, stop loss, and take profit, and this trade would have been profitable. Okay, all right. Well, that's it. Thanks for joining me. If you're interested in trading futures, I want to start doing a separate focus on trading futures. It's extremely important in anybody's trading journey to understand how the market moves. Easiest way to do it is with futures. One, because they're liquid and you can depend upon the moves. You can use support, resistance, Keltner channels, Bollinger Bands, MACDs, RSI, Fibonacci levels to really hone in the trading experience. If you're out there doing it in penny stocks, you're just going to throw money away because they're super volatile and there's no rules. It's like the wild, wild west in penny stocks. They do what they want when they want. And I think learning futures is a much more solid fundamental skill to have. Okay. Again, AMP Futures. I signed up with the CMQ $30 data package, no special margin, right? There's a $300 special margin one that takes care of everything, but your commissions are a little bit higher. So thanks for joining me. Like I said, AMP Futures is a great way to start. Here's your day trading margins available. Number one rule, we don't take a trade without a stop loss, because if I didn't have this stop loss and some horrible news came through and this contract, so you see where I got in and it's only moved a couple points. So that's the other thing. Each point that it moves is a $5 point, right? So I got in, it's moved 2.5 points to the downside. I'm down $7.50. If I didn't have this stop loss in place and this decided to dump, I could easily lose several $100s in a flash without being able to do anything about it. Since I have my stop loss in place, I'm willing to take a little bit of heat, pulling back to this 34 EMA. If it supports and moves on, then I can take a little bit of profit. If this wasn't in place, I would potentially lose my entire account. All right, now I'm done. Thanks for joining me. Once again, my name is Darkpool Algo. I stream every morning, Monday through Friday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, hour before the open. We look for plays to make money that day. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Have a great day.